We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, but today doesn't feel that way. We are divided in more ways than one, and the media and the powers that be all have their own agenda. The people of this great nation no longer care about the truth, they only care about the side they are on. At Poor 360, I am trying to change that. We're bringing you the facts and history so we can all learn something and make our own decisions. Tune in every Tuesday to be a part of that journey. The following
is a journey into comics.
Journey into comics.
It's a journey into
Is a
comics.
journey into comics.
Journey into comics.
Journey into comics.
Network production.
Went forward in time to view alternate futures, to see all the possible outcomes of the coming conflict.
How many did you see?
14,605,000.
How many did we win?
One.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Journey into Comics, the podcast that's dedicated to everything nerd. With your host, the Podfather himself, Nate Phillips, and introducing his new co-host, Tyler McLaughlin.
You should have gone for the head.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Journey into Comics. It's Journey into Comics 259. I am your host, Nate. Today joining me, a very special guest, back for the first time in over a year. Welcome back to Journey into Comics, Brando.
What's up, dude?
This is interesting.
It's been a minute.
Well, it has been a minute, but we haven't not been podcasting together.
Yeah, you're right.
We got that OGs.
Yeah.
OGs.
Yeah. Has that been plugged on this show before?
I'm not sure. Probably. Yes,
Okay.
I think so. But
Okay.
I can't remember. I also need to remember that I have this set for Quiet Ass Veronica.
Quiet Ass Veronica. So, yeah. Well, I'm also not, like, speaking at my normal tone right now.
Totally. You've been concerted.
I have been.
So your voice is a little malnourished.
Yeah. A little bit. I don't think... I don't sound that different to me. But maybe.
You just sound a little fatigued. Like you've screamed a couple hundred songs.
Give or take.
Give or take, yeah.
Give or take. No, dude. It was a great show.
We're going to be getting into that in a very special second half of this episode where we're going to take it to the OGs.
Yeah, okay. So, like, back it up. Yeah. So, for this show, what we always did is that we just riffed on... It's more opinionated. There's new stuff. There's nerd stuff. We give our opinions. End of show, really.
Totally.
Sometimes we wouldn't even have opinions. We would just we would just giggle and yawn.
These are the facts.
Attack of the Yawns. So what we've done with the OGs, what I wanted to do, and what I presented to you was to do something different and just tell stories. Sit back, chill, tell stories, because to me it just seems like that is less of a burden on, like, having to look up what's going on in the news. What's this? And well, then that makes that show completely different from anything else that we're doing.
Across the board, it's a totally different show. We are a little bit more unfiltered. We pull the curtain back. We've talked about some stuff that maybe would not have ever hit Journey into Comics land.
Yeah.
I think you could say that. But, like, the really nice thing, too, about it is, and this is especially after we just did this most recent episode together, it allows you to tap into your memories that you maybe don't necessarily tap into, and then once it starts rolling, you're like, oh, fuck, I remember this now, and I totally remember that now. It's like, it's crazy how it all comes together.
Right. Well, I left this show shortly, like a little over a year ago, and it was a little unceremoniously. It just happened.
It was like the snap.
It kind of was. And if you guys want to hear more in depth on that, go check out Podcast Review 96.
Hitting the reset
because we don't have to just rehash again. But I do want to, like, thank every single one of you guys who's ever listened to this show, who followed me over, who listened to my other show, Game Addicts, who listened to OGs, whatever. Thank you, and thank you for sticking with Nate, because that couldn't have been hard, or couldn't have been easy. Because you're just like, oh, I got to do this show by myself now, and let's just keep rolling. But you did, and now it's like. If I was gonna leave, I wanted it to morph and become something completely different.
I think it did. It forced me into a different situation. And we talked about that on hitting the reset button. I will say that people love how good we are at reminiscing about the things we've already talked about. But it was interesting for me to do the show for, I did it like for a year and change with no real co-host at all. I mean, I had people come on from time to time and do things as we would, but it was kind of like going back to the old days. And what would the show have been like had you not actually came on full time? Like, what would I have done? Could I keep it going?
Right. Well, and as we sort of detailed on that episode of Podcast Free 96, that, sometimes we individuals have to make decisions for ourselves that is the best for ourselves. Maybe not the best for everybody. Maybe it is the most challenging for everybody. Maybe it hurts feelings, and maybe that's what it's got to be. Unfortunately, it's not that you're doing that intentionally or doing that maliciously. It's what you've got to do for yourself. And sometimes what you got to do is take yourself out of a situation that could be potentially confrontational.
Totally.
Yeah. But that was then. This is now. And we're here on JIC, 259?
Yeah.
259.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Last one you were on was 189. So you can math
yeah.
that as 70
Infinity
episodes.
War. I was on Infinity War, yeah.
Yeah, which
you and I weren't even on together.
No, isn't that crazy?
My God, that was the most longest fucking night of podcasting in my entire life. Even that trumps anything that we ever did. I have never felt more exhausted in my life from podcasting.
Oh, yeah, dude, break it down, because I actually don't know the ins and outs of how that all happened. I just know that we all wanted to talk about Infinity War. We had kind of all seen the movie. I had the crazy idea of, like, what if we segment it kind of like the movie and jump around, do a non-spoiler section, spoiler section. But what was the behind the scenes of you recording your review of the Infinity War?
Well, I did that with Tyler, and we recorded 3 podcasts that night.
Okay.
And do you remember how long our segment of Infinity War went?
It was like almost 2 hours, yeah.
It was 2 hours. The spoiler-free section was 40 minutes. We hit that, and I'm like, oh, no.
We are in trouble.
And here's the thing. I love Tyler to death. He is my bud. He's my heterosexual life partner.
Word.
Okay? But me and him are we're like 2 stems from the same flower or same plant. We both can talk on something if we're passionate about it. Oh, my God. Because we wrapped that up, and we had to do, I think we did, we might have done Game Addicts next. Because I think that was the second episode of Podcast Minutes that we had done for the Patreon. Yeah. And that is probably the worst episode of that show that we did, because we were sitting there.
Just
it was like midnight, and like we had just, I think we started at 7. And of course we did Infinity War. Hey, take a little bit of a break, breather, go get a drink of water, something, sit back down, and then we just kept going with Game Addicts. And for Game Addicts, I'm like, I gotta wrap this up. I cannot let us keep going unfiltered, because we're not gonna stop. We gotta stop it because we got other stuff to talk about. It was difficult because then the real challenge of that was to try and make all 3 of them distinctly different. And by the time I got to Podcast Minutes, I'm like, I don't care right now.
I want to sleep.
Well, yeah, I wanted to sleep, but we did it. We got through it. I remember I'm like, dude, you need to be so careful going home, because you were falling asleep right here talking about Star Wars,
which is his most passionate thing.
I know. It's like, if you're falling asleep talking about Star Wars, we probably shouldn't have done that.
We probably should have backed it up a little bit and let people know Tyler's on vacation.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm here.
Tyler's on vacation in Kentucky, so we asked Brandon to come hang out with us for the night, which is awesome. It's great to have you back on this show.
It is great to be back, and it kind of worked out because you and I started OGs to help out, to fill out some space with Chris, is his name?
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah. Sorry,
You're
brain
right.
frazzled. Concert, been up since 3 o'clock this morning, your time.
You get a pass.
So, just like wide-eyed, I'm like, we're taking somebody's spot. I don't remember who. Chris.
You got it. You figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah, you did well.
All right. Yeah, no, he had a really bad incident with a flood. So, I said, hey, I really had fun on that podcast free episode. We should do something. And that's why we're doing OGs. But but I've guaranteed only 8 episodes this year.
Because, spoiler alert.
I got another kid coming.
Oh, my.
That's what I said.
Oh, my.
I said, oh, my. In fact, okay, so when I found out about Wyatt, I was excited. When I found out about Owen, I was not.
I was not.
You know, I mean, that sounds bad.
No, I understand.
But it was like the 100% opposite thing that we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had to worry about it due to certain health reasons, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I never had to do the responsible thing. Okay.
Pull-out game is not strong.
No, I never had to. And I'm being completely honest.
Fair.
Didn't have to worry about it. Apparently, I didn't practice hard enough because it did not work. I got another kid coming. He is coming in October. We started doing OGs back in July, and pretty much until we are set and comfortable, because right after Owen is the holidays. We have Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, all that kind of stuff. So I don't really want to push anything around that time. I might have some time off to be able to do something, but
You might get some special shit out of us.
right, exactly. But I don't know what that looks like until we get closer to it. So I don't want to say, you were going to be doing this every other week from now on until the end of time. I'm not going to say that. What I will say is that when we get to that point after the holidays, we're definitely going to, all right, what is the new norm for what's going on within our family, and try to figure that out. And because that's the thing. It's not about not being able to do stuff. It's trying to figure out when you can do it around.
And how the dynamic is going to change.
Exactly.
Because Wyatt's going to need a certain new level of attention because there's another thing to take away and occupy. And
that's not, whereas, before it's like I can easily be like, I'm going to go do something for a while. You watch them, It's like, okay, fine. And then I'll subvert and I'll do the opposite. I'll watch them. But now it's completely, now it's not fair for 2 kids. Maybe for a while, but she's gonna have to watch those kids every day while I'm at work.
yeah, she's going to get a little stir crazy.
Right.
Get the fuck away from those kids.
She's already stir crazy. And number 2's not even out yet.
Yeah.
So, no, dude, it's been a crazy year. A lot of good things happening. And I'm along for the ride at this point.
I feel you, man. It's late. I'm really grateful that you're doing JIC with me. I want to mention again how interesting it is, and I don't think I've ever really broke it down. But to me, it's so strange that Infinity War was the movie that you left on. Mm-hmm. Okay, and if there's the snap, and people unceremoniously go away, and then Endgame happened, and not too much longer after that, it's the blip happened and you came back and everything is normal. And it's this is great. It's a different dynamic. Obviously it doesn't quite feel like 5 years has passed, but
no,
a year did pass.
A year did pass. And spoiler alert, I actually didn't go anywhere really. I just wasn't here.
Correct.
Game Addicts did continue, and it continued on, and we hit 100, and we're on 135, I think.
Fucking A.
I think that's the next one. Because we had some issues on 134. We're getting primed. That is a theme throughout the different podcasts that we are associated with right now.
Man, Dick got primed today. You're getting primed. Luckily, Tyler didn't get primed. He just got completely cut off from recording.
It can happen
altogether.
And okay, so here's the thing. When you guys record, I just assume, right? You do
sure, totally.
You do the same thing where it's is using the same mic for both the call and the recording.
I'm not sure because the interface is in control.
Right.
The Tascam is in control.
I didn't realize that when we recorded our last episode that the mic was getting picked up by both programs. Normally, I can't do that on how I do stuff. It's I gotta have that shitty webcam mic just for you to be able to hear me, and then I have higher quality, which works. It's fine, right?
Totally.
The audience doesn't hear that shitty audio. You do.
Yep.
So it is what it is, and then vice versa when we I get the same kind of audio, but when I'm looking at this from the viewpoint of getting primed, you may not notice that he's been primed, and he may not know he's been primed until after it's done.
I wonder if there's a way to pitch shift him into normal voice.
You can. There might be some issues because I have fixed it in post once. The other times that it has done it, it not only pitch shifts you, it like clicks in the audio, and you lose segments of sentences, and it's terrible. When we recorded our Thanksgiving episode last year, we recorded it the first hour of our Extra Life stream for raising money for kids. More specifically, like Raleigh Hospital. I think is what we were associated with. Well, the first hour podcast, that was the first time that ever happened to us. So okay, we'll just record the day before Thanksgiving. I think that was like, for some reason I try to remember what I named it, but it doesn't matter because I didn't use it. Because the same thing happened again. So I had to wake up early in the morning on Thanksgiving morning before we left for my family to sit in a room much like this and do a 40-minute podcast. And 10 minutes in it did it. And this was through Audacity. Like the other two had been through Streamlabs. So it's different. So when I listened to it on Audacity, it wasn't clicking. And I'm like, all right, let's go pitch shift. Messed with it, got it sounding good. Listen to the spot, like listen to me before, listen to me after, listen to it run, segment to segment. Okay, well this shitty episode's going up, but I've never been able to fix it again because it always has that clipping audio, and I don't know if Blaine's has that or not.
Tyler luckily hasn't had any of those kind of dramas. He's recording through Audacity though, which is nice. So I think that's, by the way, that was really funny. He was telling me, he's like, dude, I can't figure it out. Audacity won't see the Tascam. It just won't happen. I don't know. And I went over to help him with his nerd room a couple Saturdays ago. I walked up to the computer and he goes, oh fuck, look, it just showed up. I just had to like scare the computer apparently, and it just decided to show the Tascam for the first time ever. So
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. But in the time that you've been away, there have been several Marvel movies. We usually nerd out on Marvel movies.
Sure.
What all have you seen? Have you seen them all? Or you're totally caught up?
Yeah. No, like I'm current.
Okay, so
I'm not current on everything.
Okay.
I think as far as superhero movies go, the only one I haven't seen is Shazam.
Ooh, it's we briefly touched on that yesterday in text. It's really good.
You like it?
I loved it. I was actually shocked. I was like, wow, you did it right, DC. Like, you impressed me.
Did you hear all the impressions that the Joker movie's getting?
Ups and downs, man.
Everything that I'm hearing from people who saw it at the festival said it's don't go into this thinking like it's the Joker from the Batman, that this is a Joker movie for that. This is not that. This is more of a film.
Correct. They're trying to get the Oscar bait.
Getting like Oscar bait, or they're trying to get real artsy with it, which is fine. It's cool. For the moment I saw the trailer, I'm like, this is going to be different. And here's the thing. That's one thing that also, all these movies, dude, we live in a crazy time where we're getting all of them. We're getting movies on characters we probably never should have gotten. We, as you said, we just got a good Shazam movie.
Yeah. The end.
How does that make any sense? Why does that make sense? Imagine a world when we were kids where we ever thought, why would we want to watch that movie?
No one would have said, let's go see Shazam in theaters.
Right.
It just doesn't sell.
They would have thought that was like Shaquille O'Neal.
Kazam, my friend. Kazam.
But I mean, like, think about it, okay? We have been spoiled. And I was thinking about this just the other day. I was thinking about how spoiled we are because we have had really terrible superhero movies.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're comparing movies, like, together because some movies are really great and some of them aren't. Okay. I haven't seen any movie in the last year that I thought has been terrible. Because when I think terrible, I think Captain America 89 or 90.
Yeah.
I think old Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Hell yeah.
You know?
What about 2003 Elektra or 2004 Elektra?
Elektra, oh my gosh.
That was terrible.
Catwoman?
I was just getting ready to say Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Okay, you know, so can we agree that that's bad?
That's properly bad.
Okay.
What about X-Men Origins Wolverine?
No.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's fucking god-awful.
It's like, you think it's going to be good for like 5 minutes, and then you're like, wait, no, stop. What are you doing?
And by the time the movie's over, you're begging them to give it back. No, give me that time back.
You just keep watching it thinking, well, no, they got part of it right in the beginning. They're going to get the rest of it right. And then you're just like,
They did not.
No. But, okay, because apparently people hated Dark... Oh, I haven't seen Dark Phoenix.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Okay, people hated it, apparently.
I think a lot of people boycotted it just because it's not a Disney movie now.
Well, okay, so Disney lost money this quarter, and they blamed it on that movie.
Because they put a lot of money into marketing it, it still didn't do well at the box office.
Well, they fired the marketing team.
That is also true. That is also very true.
To me, it sounds like a fucking cop-out.
Yeah. I mean, but you got to think, it's weird for them to lose money in a quarter that had Spider-Man and also Avengers and also Captain Marvel.
Yeah, you're right. But so you had Endgame, and Endgame made in-bank.
Did I say Infinity War?
No, I think you just said Avengers.
Oh, gotcha.
But, like, just segment Endgame and how much money that movie made, and you lost the money.
Highest grossing movie of all time.
Okay, what else are you doing? Like, but it's all X-Men's fault. Like, X-Men's going to be your saving grace?
I don't think it was going to be theirs.
Okay, because here's the thing. I mean,
I
gave up on X-Men like years ago after X-Men 3, and then I didn't go see X-Men Origins, but I watched it when it came out, and I'm like, I did not make a mistake by not seeing this in theaters. This is terrible. I don't want to see anymore, and I gave up. And then I went and saw Days of Future Past, and I ate my crow, and I went back and watched First Class.
First Class and
I love those two movies.
Absolutely.
Those two movies are awesome. But I just, like, what else did they do wrong? Because it doesn't make any sense to me why they would have lost money. Is it because you're putting so much... Well, number one, was the Fox deal that they bought and the money that they spent, was on the previous quarter? How are they, like...
Ooh, that's a good
how are they
question.
writing this down? It's like money spent, money brought in. It's like... X-Men. That stupid ass movie.
That's actually interesting.
I don't know where they would file that. Like, because then you have all the different movies. Because we were talking about how you had Toy Story and Lion King and Aladdin and Dumbo and all these movies like Captain Marvel, Dumbo, Endgame, Aladdin, Toy Story, Lion King,
Spider-Man,
5% of it. And then
damn, we'll have to get into that too.
But I mean, like, you have all that, and they lost money.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you need to see the numbers to actually figure out how it breaks down.
How much did they spend on those on those versus what they made? Because people hated Lion King for some reason.
I think it was because it was too literal of an interpretation to the original movie,
and that could be.
You're not going to ever recapture that, even though I think Jon Favreau was the guy to recapture some of that magic. And I think I know Tyler, his big complaint was they fucking sold the thing on how much Beyonce is a part of the movie, and she's only in it for fucking 10 minutes. It's fucking stupid. Yeah. You know, and it's like, well, that's marketing, man. Right. And, Endgame, the question is, like, does the money that they made affect that quarter or the following quarter? And then does the money that they spent on those actors, does that come out when the movie is done, or do they get paid before the movie's over? Like, how does that all fit? Those are all good questions to have.
You've got to think that. I mean, you have so many people in that freaking movie that not only are they getting paid, but probably a lot of them. Even if you just want to say the 6, let's just say the 6. Probably more, but just the 6, maybe even. Josh Brolin probably get a percentage of the money after they've made the money. Because a lot of times when actors get paid, yeah, sure, they get paid $17 million, right?
Yeah.
Go do this movie. But then they're like, all right, you get that right now, but then you're going to get like 3%.
Perpetuity for the merchandise or whatever it is.
For merchandise, for likeness, for... You know, so then that's the gift that keeps on giving then, because then it's like the 3%. I'm making up numbers. I have no idea.
Totally.
3% of, was it like, what was it at the end? Like,
it was like
of just a theater run.
It was 2.8 billion, on its way to 3 billion.
Okay.
3% of that.
Okay.
Let's see. 1% of that is $100,000.
Okay.
So that math is not right. $1 million. It's $1 million. Wrong math.
Okay, so then you get that, but then the movie has to come out on Blu-ray and digital,
special editions,
and
box set re-releases,
and I guarantee you it's probably higher than 3%.
Oh yeah, definitely. And every actor is probably different on a grading scale based on their, whatever their deal is with their agent.
I guarantee you they probably have a certain set number of money that they get, and I would say probably like your bigger stars like Robert Downey and Chris Evans and those, they probably have a percentage of stuff that they get kicked back. I don't know. Maybe we're completely wrong.
I would say that what they probably do is, because these actors have multi-movie deals, they probably sign them for an overall lump sum plus whatever percentage of each movie's box office / all the things we just discussed.
And that's so that way they can spend a certain amount up front and then pay that rest of it later.
Correct. It's a good way to keep in good with your actors. But no, okay, so we obviously kind of sort of both reviewed Infinity War at the same time together in a weird, bizarre-ass kind of way. Did you like Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I did.
Man, I thought that movie was really fucking good.
I thought it was great. And if you take it and compare it to the first one, it might just be a notch under the first one for me. Not that it's bad.
Or less good.
No. But just it's it again. Which is not a bad thing in any shape or form or anything.
It's going to be impossible to recapture the magic, though, of seeing Ant-Man for the first time.
For the first time, but I think it did a good job of recapturing the magic that the first one did. It just, it wasn't bigger than the first one. It wasn't necessarily smaller than the first one either. It was right about the same, and that's good because that's consistent. But going into it, I was like, oh, how is this going to be? And I was satisfied. I was more pissed that I didn't get to see it in theaters. That's a story.
Okay, so bring on the story. Why didn't you
I wanted to go see it in theaters?
Totally.
And I was going to take the wife, and we were like, it was over my shutdown. It was like, are we going to be able to find somebody to watch the kid? This and that. No. And okay, no. All right. Well, we're going to try and find a time to go. And she goes, I really didn't want to see it in theaters anyway. And this is after. And she said that after shutdown. And I'm like,
I could have fucking went on my shutdown.
I could have went by myself.
Oh.
And I could have gone like in an early morning where I'm like the only person in there, or like at least like one or two, and it would have been. You couldn't have said that like 2 weeks ago.
You had to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
But here I am making a big deal of it, for no reason. Anyway,
the same kind of thing happened to me with Doctor Strange.
Did it?
I'm still pissed that I've never seen that in theaters. I would love to.
It'd be really neat to be able to get to go back and watch a lot of those in theaters. I don't need to see all of them. I would actively avoid seeing Iron Man 2 in theaters. Ever again?
Yeah.
I actively avoid watching Iron Man 2 in general. I saw that in theaters and was like, I almost pulled a Tyler and almost got up and walked out.
Oh, shit. Did he do that in Iron Man 2?
No, that's just a joke that he
always, shit.
I'm not sure if it's a joke, but if Tyler doesn't enjoy the movie, every single time that he's not enjoyed a movie, I usually have heard him say, I about walked out of the damn thing. And I'm like,
well, why didn't you just walk out? Did I ever tell that story? About somebody walking out of a theater? Tell me you know this story.
Maybe.
I mean, this is probably more served for OGs, but I digress. We're going to tell it here on JIC.
That is pretty much the theme of OGs, is just digressing.
Yeah.
That's all we do on that show.
I love that.
And what I love is that then there's no penalty for tangents, because we just tangent away.
It's like fleeting moments of conversation. I love it. But no, Talladega Nights, John Burt, and Goebel.
Okay.
Okay? Watch the whole movie. It's great. Loving it. Fucking funny as shit. Laughing our ass off. Baby Jesus got me. Get to the end of the movie. Sacha Baron Cohen and Will Ferrell kiss. Will Goebel literally stands up and goes, "Fuck this stupid movie," and walked down to the theater, dude. Made a scene and everything. Because those two dudes kissed. It was the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. It's the only time I've ever seen somebody walk out of a movie, like, willingly. And it was over something so trivial. Like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was just a weird tangent.
Well, I mean, number one, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody how they should feel or how they should react.
Totally.
But it's like, probably didn't need to overreact like that. And number two, the statement you're making, movie's over. Like,
Exactly.
You've already said that the whole time.
It was like the last 5 minutes. It was so fucking dumb. I didn't understand it.
There wasn't any more movie to see after that.
No, it's like the end. They wrapped the story up. Ricky Bobby's happy. The end.
Yeah, everybody lives happily ever after. All right, so after Ant-Man and Wasp, what's next?
Cap Marvel.
Okay, well, no, there are other ones. Not Marvel, just Marvel.
Oh, not Marvel. So Aquaman came out.
I liked Aquaman.
I did not. I thought it was a lot of spectacle with not a lot of substance.
That's what I felt about Captain Marvel.
Interesting.
Yeah, no. I thought Aquaman was... If I had to give him a number, it's like a 7.5 to an 8. It's not great by any means.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was great at all. I thought Venom was passable.
I was just going to ask you about
It
Venom.
has some good moments. Ironically, I feel like there's a lot of stuff. That movie feels almost kind of like, not as like it's copying this movie, but just like when I think about that movie and what kind of movie that movie is, the original Spawn movie back in the 90s.
Okay.
It's like you're not going to sit here and tell me that movie is a fantastic superhero movie. It's not, but it's enjoyable enough if you like the character. I thought there's enough good in the Venom movie that it subverts some of the bad that was in it.
Okay.
I felt like it was a good start. Just they didn't home run it, but they at least got on base. And
They sure as hell didn't strike out.
no, I didn't feel like that they struck out. I did have some problems with the movie because I felt like some of the stuff was like, well, that's just stupid. However, like I really liked Tom Hardy's passion.
Yeah.
For the character. I felt like he had a lot of fun with it, which is like, that's a different take on it as well. Like trying to like, he is like, I like the way that he was freaking out about it most of the time because it really like contradicted the really violent nature of the other side. And it was like, he was playing this dichotomy together. And I loved how he's always reacting to it.
Yes.
And it's like, you know,
I think Tom Hardy did a great job as Venom for sure.
Crazy as that is, like when like he's been that character for a while and he's used to it, it's going to be a different movie entirely. Like because like where he's freaking out every single time and talking to him every single time, it's like, you know, him as Eddie is not used to that, and then everyone's like, "Who are you talking to?" And then like after he's had that symbiote for like a year or 2 years, and you do a sequel or whatever, he's just going to be like. He's not going to be freaking out, wigging out, and doing crazy, stupid shit anymore. At least you would think not. But he's going to be like more in tune with it, and it could be even better.
I agree, and I think that this is a good time to brief on the Sony stuff. What do you think about all this stuff that's happening in this non-deal drama?
I'm not losing sleep over it.
Okay.
I'm happy and content with what we've had. Would I like more? Sure. Absolutely. But I'm also not sure where I stand in terms of storytelling going forward. I feel like the reset button's been hit for me. And me deciding what I'm going to go see in theaters is I'm not going to see them all. I'm not. Number one, I have 2 kids to try and get people to watch. Could I go by myself? Sure. But am I going to go see Black Widow? I don't know. I don't know. Am I going to go see, what's the other one coming out? Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi? I don't know. I'm not sold on anything with that. Would I go see Thor? Probably, because I'm already invested in the character. Same with Black Panther. Okay, I'm already invested in them. All the other ones, it's back to square zero.
Blade?
Maybe, sure. I don't know, because I like the actor they got for him. Sure, he's a great actor, but I just don't know, because and then when you start with the whole thing with Spider-Man and them saying that they do have a third story started, and like the splits is basically gonna complicate things, but it's not changing the story that they were gonna start telling anyway. It's like, it's interesting. I don't know. The whole thing is, I feel like talks broke down. Number one, first and foremost, Sony owns it. They hold the chips. They hold the chips.
They only own the film rights, though.
No. And then that's what this is about.
But then, the same token, you got to think that Disney can greenlight them or not greenlight them on this Spider-Verse TV show they want to do.
Sure.
So, see, this is this give and pull.
Well, okay. First of all, I don't think any of this is over. I do think that Sony holds the chips. Disney wants this. Sony wants this. Basically, what you have is a bunch of higher-up people who make way more money than us.
Totally.
Basically being greedy. I think that there's greed on both sides with this. I think with all the money that Disney lost, don't you think they would love to have a little bit more than 5% of Spider-Man? Sure.
Yeah.
Do I think some of their money problems are going to be fixed after they launch their streaming service? Yes.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna make bank on that.
Totally. They've home running every announcement.
Well, yeah. That is gonna but also you also have to start watching yourself, as Netflix is running the same problem. You're greenlighting so many shows and so many IP. How much money are you spending on each individual one versus how much money you're going to be bringing in to your app, because you're already launching it with a deal to be cheaper than Netflix, and you get more, which is great for the consumer.
Totally.
And they're even running a deal, which by the time you hear this deal's already done. If you buy 2 years, you get one free. But I don't know if that's the bundle with everything.
The way I read it, they had a deal going where you paid $141 for 3 years, and it broke down to like $3.47 a month, which was ultra cheap. It's like nothing, you know? And that's not just for Disney. It's for Disney Plus, Hulu, and for ESPN Plus. Mm-hmm. Plus, you're getting all the National Geographic programming and stuff. But, this deal with Sony and Disney is interesting because at the same token, you got to look at it from intellectual property standpoint of who created Spider-Man, right? Mm-hmm. Marvel. There's zero argument there. So again, you almost have a Fantastic Four situation all over again. Is that if you had a world where Boba Fett was owned by fucking Paramount and couldn't be allowed to play in the Star Wars fucking universe, it wouldn't make any sense. No one would be cool with that. So why is there, and this is the thing that gets me, there's this like wave of people, and I don't know if they're the Comicsgate folks or whatever, that are like, oh, it's great that Sony's getting Spider-Man back. And I'm like, what part of that is fucking great? They did not get anything. I mean, they got parts of things right. They have special spot in my heart, and I talked about this last week on JIC. They do have a very special spot in my heart for some of the things they did with Tobey Maguire's era, some of the stories they told in Andrew Garfield's era, but nothing comes close to how perfect Tom Holland's era has been.
So here's something interesting.
Sure.
One of the best Spider-Man movies I've seen, period, is Into the Spider-Verse.
Agreed.
Directed by two people that Disney fired.
Yeah, Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah. They were not good enough to direct a Star Wars movie. Apparently. Now, granted, I like Solo.
I did too.
I actually kind of like it. I don't know what kind of movie that they were going to do. Because we're not going to get their cut of the movie.
Ever.
No, there wasn't even enough of it to make a final cut. But I just think it's ironic. Because here's the thing. You put the movie in the right hands, and it can be done right. From their standpoint, I can see them saying, we've learned a lot. We know how to make these stories. We can take what we've learned and bring it forward. We have the same people. We're going to get a lot of the same team involved that was there before. You guys are not going to feel like you're missing anything, because this is going to be a Spider-Man Peter-centric story, whatever. So no more crossover, no more of this. But we can start crossing over with more into the Spider-Man verse, like all these different characters. Okay, on paper that sounds cool, awesome. But what did I say earlier? We as fans have been spoiled.
It's true.
We as far as how good movies have been, Marvel made a lot of great movies. If you make a superhero movie that's not on par with that, it instantly gets shit upon. Just like I said earlier, are they as bad as those old movies? No way. Are they as bad as some of the old Batman movies? No. No.
Not even close.
Are they as bad as like the old Fantastic Four, or even that really new one they made a little while ago?
I liked the 92 Fantastic Four, but Fan-4-Stick 4,
yeah,
that shit was awful.
Fan-4-Stick.
Josh Trank's garbage.
No, nothing that I have seen in the more modern era, even the DC movies. We reviewed BVS here, and we're very kind to it compared to other people.
I agree, and there were things about BVS that redeemed it. I think we covered that ad nauseum.
I actually really like the extended cut.
I still have not watched it. Honest to God, I need to. I really want to. It
just goes in a little more detail. The only drawback of it is slow, brooding Snyder. Okay. But you're already in it, so you might as well
just be in it.
Right. So as long as you know that's what you're getting, I think you'll be fine.
Damn.
Because I like it. It just takes a while to really get moving. It goes into more in depth with why Superman is doing what he actually goes and talks to people. They show some of that where he's actually talking to citizens. Like, it's been a while since I watched it. But like no movie, DC, Marvel, or anything like that has been that bad to me, because I go into every movie with a blank slate, giving it a solid chance. Because I'm trying not to let anything that has come prior be the bar
influence. Yeah,
because sorry, no 1-2 punch is going to be better than Infinity War and Endgame. They're going to be hard pressed to beat that in their own movies going forward.
Totally, I'm like nervous to see what they do.
Right. It's like and that doesn't mean that I won't enjoy it. It just means that nothing is ever going to compare, because we've already had it and it's already been that good. And it's not necessarily fair to compare anything that DC has done, because it's a completely different thing. Were they trying to go too fast? Sure, maybe. Does it mean that that there's not good stuff in there? No. Does it mean that we can't sit down and try and objectively say what's good about this? What's bad about this? It's like going into Captain Marvel.
Sure, please do.
Okay. I enjoyed it more the second time.
I think it deserves a second watch to tell the story. I saw it, coincidentally enough, I saw it within a week of seeing it opening night in theaters. I saw it again because the three of us went and saw it on debut night, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But then my buddy Cody, who I had taken all the way through the MCU up into that point, all the way to Infinity War, which that was one of the coolest moments of my life, like payoff-wise, to like every week we were watching 2 Marvel movies a week on Wednesday. And on the night that we were going to get to just Black Panther, he said, no, I'll stay late. We're watching Infinity War. I'm not going to just have one movie left to watch, And the payoff, just watching him experience it after I already knew everything that was coming, everything that was going to happen. Thor shows up in Wakanda and he just fucking mouth agape and shit, Huge payoff. And he was like, hey man, I really want to see Captain Marvel, and I saw you guys already saw it, but would you go see it with me? And I was like, fuck yeah, I will. Let's go. And the second watch, I told him, I was like, you need to go see this immediately. I don't care if you go by yourself. Watch it a second time, because it does make it better.
I thought Captain Marvel was their... That is just opinion, right?
Sure.
Thought it was Marvel's first stutter in a long time.
Okay.
I genuinely think, for what they have done for the 2 times that we've seen her, she's a pretty generally disinteresting character. There's nothing really about her that draws me in.
I think it's just her overpoweredness is what draws people in.
I just think it's her personality. I'm not attracted to her personality one bit.
Do you know what's interesting? I'm actually super glad that you mentioned that, because when you think about, I don't know if you know this, but how Brie Larson did those movies, she was in Endgame before she even knew how she was going to play the character.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. So what I want to say is that, like, I really was not too thrilled. That's the only part of Endgame that I wasn't too thrilled about, was her inclusion.
Okay.
I feel like that they shoehorned her in with how now. This is both a positive and a negative.
Sure.
So it's the fact that they didn't have her in it to tell the story with that they had to tell with the other characters. That's perfect. However, with them trying to like bleed in and do a movie and introduce her, she's going to be in this movie. It's like you're expecting more out of that character, and then she's in it for a total of what, a half hour? Maybe not even
like 15.
So it's like, because they start you off and it's like, boom, right there. Okay, all right, here we are. She's here. You know, we just got introduced to this character. We went and saw that movie. We know who she is. She found him with her and her CGI hair. You know, and now she's flying all the way back. You know, she's Goku in this shit all the way back. And then it's like, then they did the whole opening segment. Cool. And now it's like, now we won't see her until the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Yep, I'm not gonna be. You're gonna be hearing a lot from me.
No, literally, because I feel like that is the only part of the movie that isn't well done. I like the stuff with her showing up and causing destruction. That's par for the course. That's fine. It's cool.
Totally.
But it just kind of falls flat with me after seeing the movie, and I didn't see it twice before I saw Endgame. I saw it after I bought it, right? After I bought it and rewatched it, I liked it more because I knew how the story was unraveling, and fine. Seeing that movie in theaters, I was just like, this is the first Marvel movie in a long time. I probably couldn't, like, I really couldn't have waited because
you didn't have time.
It wouldn't have really been out before, because it's that little trick that they pulled, like with Black Panther, with like, this movie's not going to be on digital or disc before the movie or the next one comes out, so you kind of have to go.
Fuck, I guess so.
Like,
I guess
you
they're
sons
right.
of bitches. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I felt okay. You know, we talked about Venom, we talked about Aquaman, and maybe they're not the best movies ever. I felt like her movie was like right with them. I felt like there's stuff in that movie that makes it feel like it's better than those. Sam Jackson.
Totally.
Sam Jackson, and he could be like literally acting with a piece of toast, and he would be great.
Toast, motherfucker, do you eat it?
Do you eat it? What kind of language do they speak in toast?
Burnt. It's burnt.
But I mean, he could literally be in anything, and it would be good. I mean, there's aspects about the movie that are really good.
I like how they use the scroll, and they're not, what they seem.
Well, I remember, like, way back in the day, you were like, Iron Man's a scroll. Calling it right now. And it's like, well, no. I actually did kind of like the twist, but what I didn't like is how they were written before the twist.
Yeah, brooding a little bit.
Well, they were written
seem menacing.
They were written to seem like the bad guy, to make the twist seem more, they're the good guy. Whereas there's no... when I said there's no subtlety, if it's there, if that is there, that's subtle as can be.
They shouldn't take your hand and guide you to that. They should let you ponder what side are these guys playing, and they kind of almost, with how they present the scroll, with the aggressiveness of their changing.
It's almost like a generic bad guy.
Yes.
That's how they came off until they switched it.
Putty Patrol.
Yeah. like the green Ivan Ooze.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love that.
But I liked it, but then I didn't like it. It was like, I don't know, there's just a lot about Captain Marvel that I felt like was under par for what they have been doing for a long time. And I feel like that was they swung and they hit the ball. They did really good.
You know what I think it was?
Huh.
This was their example of bunting.
Bunting?
They just needed the bunt to load the bases so that when Endgame came out, they could hit the grand slam,
maybe,
you know?
Yeah, maybe you're right. But
I don't know why we're using baseball analogies for Marvel, but it works.
I'm watching it again because I ordered it off of Family Video. FamilyVideo.com is a great way to get used movies, guys. If you guys want to get these movies, wait a couple months and check out FamilyVideo.com in the used section because I got Captain Marvel for $8.
Score.
Yeah,
just on time. Yeah. Train of our existence.
But do they even hear it though through our mics?
With your mic on, yes, they will.
Oh, okay.
Because that thing picks up everything.
Okay.
I think you would say a mouse fart.
Okay. Yeah. Or crickets.
Yeah.
I've been a little afraid because I've been moving like this, which I'm not talking right here into it, because I'm trying to make eye contact. Because just sitting here like this is kind of weird.
You could move it.
Well, I've already moved it a little bit, and I'm like, well, right here's good, and then I'm like,
it's weird. I know. This is a new setup in the comic room.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we haven't talked about Endgame. Curious. I mean, you love that movie. Yeah, you have to, right?
I saw it 3 times at theaters. Yeah.
Fucking A. Right?
Yeah. First time was by myself.
Ooh.
On opening Friday. Yeah, Friday.
Damn.
I pre-ordered my ticket and got in there. I was sitting next to some dude. I had no idea who the hell he was. New theaters that we have down there are awesome. Those reclining seats are awesome. That was my first experience with it. I was like, oh, sitting there like, I'd be able to like kick your feet up on these things, and they're comfy.
You didn't fall asleep, did you?
No, I did not.
You run a risk in a 3-hour movie. I don't care how good it is.
Well, I mean, no. I feel like the movie kept you engaged. You know, that was a short 3 hours.
I agree.
Whereas like a detriment to BVS or Watchmen. As much as I love Watchmen, you know,
it's a long 3 hours.
No, it definitely feels 3 hours. Where like Endgame, it doesn't really feel like 3 hours because they have a lot of different characters and they do a lot with those characters at different moments in it. And it's like, yeah, they can't give you everything, but they give you most of it.
Totally, it was like the smorgasbord of Marvel.
Did you hear about the Doctor Strange gaff?
Snafu, yeah, the Eye of Agamotto is back.
Yeah, he's like, hey, look what I got.
Look what I found it. Did you bring this to me, Wong? I had it replaced, you know. That's
there you go.
Also, there's another gaff in that. Have you seen the you know about the Winter Soldier gaff? So when he comes through the portal, his hair is down, and then midway fight, he's got a man bun. So he stopped and put his hair up during the fight with Thanos and company. So hold on, guys. Pause. Can I just do this?
But then later on when he's sitting there with Rocket again, it's down.
I think
again?
It might be down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking up, Marvel. It's little stuff like that though that you're gonna pick at because the overall body of work is so good. Like if you didn't get feels watching Infinity or Endgame, Infinity War 2, but like Endgame especially, there are so many moments that just like gut punch, dude.
Well, one thing that I really liked about it is that, and I said this about Infinity War, and I can't remember if I said it way back when. It's been forever. Like the fight scenes that they had with Thanos was like Dragon Ball Z come to life.
Yes.
Like it's like the Dragon Ball Z movie that we never have got, right? Because, and I'm specifically talking about the fight scene with Thanos on Titan, and then the fight scene between like the 3, Iron Man, Cap, and Thor, and Thanos on Earth.
The Avengers.
Just
facility.
the way it's laid out, just the way that they lay it out, and the way that everything is going. It's like this is like a Dragon Ball Z fight, like legit.
It's absolutely perfect.
Okay, so also another thing that is really well done is all the little shit. All the little shit. All the stuff that is either said or implied, and if you know it and you've seen these movies and you've been following along, you're like, that! Oh, that!
Example, the one-liner that Wasp says about "we got it, Cap," calling back to when she made fun of Scott for calling him Cap.
Yep.
And you're just like...
And then they just kind of give each other a look, like, and a smile. Like she gets it, she's on board, or like, you know, the one that the one that's been said on your left.
God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
perfect. I will say, talking about moments in that movie that I just still to like get me. The moment when Scott sees Cassie for the first time after he's back, and that like reaction of he is processing that she's older but has missed so much time with her, and like the wave of emotions, relief that he found her, grief that he'd missed this time, shock that he survived this thing that he doesn't really quite understand even.
Well, okay, it's because you're just assuming that he even knows what's happened yet, because for him it's only been hours.
Correct.
For him, he was just like, I've been floating here for a few hours. I don't know what's going on. And it's like, oh, actually, you've been messing with my stuff. Did you get? Are you giant Cassie right now?
What happened? Did you eat one of the blue discs? You know?
Oh man. Well, it just like you've got to think that like when he saw his name, and then it's not like he asked, "Hey, what's all this about?" He probably just took off and ran.
He does ask though.
He asked the kid, but then he didn't get an answer. Right?
Exactly. He goes, "What the hell happened here?" And then there's no response. The kid just goes away.
So I assume Cassie filled him in on everything.
You would have to believe that. And then here's one thing that we don't get in the movie that I've kind of pondered. How did he get from fucking San Francisco to motherfucking New York so fast?
There's not as much traffic.
Oh, shit. Oh my God, that was brutal, but so totally true. Half as many cars on the road. Half as many cops, you can speed twice as fast. Oh damn, that's brutal. I just was wondering if he took a fucking plane. That's more what I was gonna ask.
Oh,
well, he has the van though, so that's
No, I assume he packed it up with some tacos and took off.
Oh shit! What? We're dumb, dude. He could have just miniaturized the van and flew on a flight. He has the technology.
Yeah,
he's literally Ant-Man.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Like his shit was broken at that time. Remember?
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, it like short circuited when he came back out.
That's right.
So he's like, that stuff doesn't work.
I can't trust it.
So no, he literally drove across the country with less traffic.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no.
I just want to see that footage.
He's boogieing, he'd be bopping along, eating some tacos.
Ant-Man 3 on the road again.
Ant-Man 3 on the road again. That's like all these like timey-wimey stuff with Black Widow movie being like after Civil War. Ant-Man 3 is going to be like this is okay. So this takes place after he comes back, but before the time heist.
Before he gets there.
It's like, wait a minute. So, but how long does it take to get there? About 3 days. So the whole movie's over 3 days. A lot of stuff happens.
You'll be surprised.
But wait, his stuff was broken.
That's a part of the story. Just wait.
Wait. So, like, does that mean he doesn't get small? Imagine that Ant-Man movie. What a twist. He doesn't even get small.
He doesn't even get small. That's the episode title. He doesn't even get small on this one. That's good. Oh, shit. So, Tony's death, that was hard.
Yeah. It was a little telegraphed, a little. I completely, like, expected it.
Yeah.
The moment that Doctor Strange says, if I tell you it won't happen, I'm like, he's dying. But that didn't take away from it.
My first inclination that Tony was done for was the conversation with Howard. Because there's the line of, my kid's not even here yet, and I would do anything to protect him. And I was like, but Tony's kid is here, and he has to do anything to protect her. Mm-hmm. That's the moment he fucking realizes it, And then again on the battlefield, like you said, the one, when Strange just holds up the one, it's like...
it's actually before that when he says, hey, this is the one.
Oh, yeah,
Tell me this is the one. He goes, if I tell you that it won't happen. And then with that's when I'm like, okay, he gone.
Yeah, because he can't go, hey, Tony, you're going to go kill yourself now.
Yeah, well, because when you look at it, if he told Tony would think about it too much.
Yeah.
Tony always does what it needs to be done in the moment based off of just his gut instinct. It's like that's when he doesn't think about it and he just goes with it. That's the curse of his character. He always overthinks everything.
Absolutely.
You give him time to think about it, he will think about it till the cows come home, and then he won't do it how it's supposed to be done to save it. It normally works out, but in this situation, if he wouldn't have, he would have had time to think, and he would have time to think about Morgan, and it would have scared him.
Absolutely, it would have terrified him.
But when it's like, this is it, and then Tony has no time, it's like, it's now or nothing, and he has to do it.
Do you think it's a possible misstep? And I know, by the way, that there are deleted scenes and stuff for Endgame. Do you think it was a misstep for the Endgame deleted scene where they have an older Morgan in the Soul Stone, a la how Gamora, shows up? What am I hearing?
You're hearing kitty cats.
That's insane.
I'm used to it, though.
It sounds so loud in the headphones. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
No, it's out there somewhere.
Do you think it should have been a Vision, if they're thinking about putting that scene in the movie, then the reason they took it out was because audiences were confused? Wouldn't it have made more sense if he would have went into the Soul Stone for a second and seen Widow there? And she says, Tony, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, there was only one way to save everyone, and this is what I had to do.
So then it's like a mirror of what happened with Thanos.
Exactly.
In a way, but you don't have to do it because like you already get the same emotional impact from this, like from right afterwards. Because right afterwards you have Rhodey, you have Pete, and then you have fucking Pepper.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh, that "you can rest now" line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it killed me. And then the second time you watch it, you hear her say that when he's figuring out the Mobius strip in the time travel, and she goes,
but you won't rest.
Would you be able to rest?
Dude, I caught that the first time.
I did not.
And then when she said you can rest down, I'm like, son of a bitch. Like,
okay, you got me, Marvel. You got me. I will tell you that not for Endgame, but for it would have had to have been it was Captain Marvel when they had the Stan intro with him and all his cameos.
Yeah.
That fucking broke me, dude. And then that moment got me. But then like after Stan Lee's death, it was very strange because he's somebody who obviously, like, my whole entire room here is like kind of a cathedral to his fucking creation, Mm-hmm. And that moment was like it was beautifully done. And I was like, oh, fucking Marvel, you got it. But then there are two other moments that just fucking wreck me. And it was Into the Spider-Verse, his cameo in that, giving young Miles the costume. Oh, dude, I just broke down. And then when I was playing Spider-Man on PS4, his cameo there, dude, oh my God, I was just like a fucking weeping mess. There was like, what's wrong? And I was like, well, I can't really talk about it right now. Like,
yeah, that Spider-Man game is the best Spider-Man anything.
I agree.
That I have. Like, I love these new movies. I love Into the Spider-Verse. That game is the best Spider-Man like thing I have seen in so long. They got so many things right.
Epically right. And didn't even use like a quarter of his rogues gallery.
No.
Like, no. There's so much storytelling left.
They dipped their toe. What I love is that you can almost harken back to Arkham, where, with that Batman game, they were Rocksteady was kind of given the freedom to pull and make their own little verse. Insomniac was able to do the same thing, 100%. And Marvel even encouraged them, change this, do that. Change Mary Jane, make her a journalist. Makes the story better. Do it.
Yeah, serve the story first.
Spoiler alert, kill Aunt May.
Oh, that was brutal.
And what I love is that Marvel got cold feet about that. Did you hear that?
I didn't.
They got, when they found out Insomniac was going to do it, they were like, I don't know if I'd do that. They had to talk Marvel into it. And I think it's perfect.
I do too. I think it was such a linchpin in the story. I think it drives everything forward further.
I love how one of the big things that they pulled was inspiration from the movies with Pete's relationship with Otto Octavius.
Yes.
Love that.
Absolutely.
And how Otto figures out that he's Spider-Man, but it doesn't let him necessarily know that.
All the while going crazy while he's trying to build his cyber tech to make his arms work.
And all those side things you do, all those little puzzles, you're building it for him.
Yeah, you're making your fucking mega boss.
I know, it's perfect. God, that game is awesome, and I love the switcheroo because that all the stuff that they tell you is like negative man, negative man, negative man. For a minute,
he's so minimal to the story. Ultimately, when you get into what the story's trying to do, like
he's a major part of it, but by the time it does the switcheroo and reveals the mastermind,
yeah.
Like then he doesn't mean as much, but I love how they pulled in Vulture, and they pulled in Electro.
There was
Rhino.
a little bit of Shocker. You had Scorpion.
With Scorpion, yeah,
right. Scorpion makes an appearance in that.
And then Rhino.
Yep.
But so like basically you have like a new like Sinister Six type thing,
and they play on that a little bit in the game with Mr. Sinister being involved in it.
I loved Jameson. Basically being Alex Jones.
Absolutely, and they kind of play on that in the Spider-Verse, in the Far From Home movie.
Far From Home. Also, I'm also like, so this whole Sony thing and Disney thing, it's like, well, the one thing that I am worried about is this whole thing is like, it's rights, it's IP, it's film rights. It's like, look, you keep that fight in the film. You fight all you want. At the end of the day, you best not be taking away the Marvel from Sony, because Sony just bought Insomniac. They bought Insomniac. They own them now.
Yeah.
Like, Insomniac has made, like, what, Ratchet and Clank, and then they did a Sunset Overdrive with Microsoft, but now Sony's like, we own you now. Make us another Spider-Man game. Because that game has become the highest-selling Sony exclusive of all time.
It's so good.
And what I love about it is that it's not just that it's a very popular intellectual property that you would make a game out of. It's a really fucking good one. It is like, when I talk about video games and I talk about Sony exclusive good, that is a term that they've earned.
Uncharted,
like, with studios like Naughty Dog, with like Santa Monica Studios, Kojima now, yeah, but then also with Guerrilla Games. You've had so many great story-based exclusives, and Spider-Man, it was like, this game is that good that it is a Spider-Man game and is Sony's story good.
And it had no right to be that good, honestly.
No, not at all.
There's not a universe where you say everything they intend on doing is going to work and they tell a good story.
And oh my god, like the city and the lore is so rich because there's so many Easter eggs.
Tons. Endless Easter eggs.
The Murdoch
backpacks.
business card.
Yeah, everything, dude.
That Murdoch business card killed me. It's like how he's like, hey, in case Spider-Man ever needs a lawyer. He's like, wait a minute, he was blind. How does he know how Spider-Man? And you can find the Sanctum Sanctorum. You can find the Ghostbusters building.
What? I actually didn't know about the Ghostbusters building. I knew about
it. Doesn't have the logo, even though it's Sony, and they could have put it in there.
Damn it!
It would have been funny as hell, and I wish they would have. But if you can actually, it's one of the hidden ones. One of the hidden, because you have the locations and then you have hidden ones.
Yeah, that you get to take the secret pictures that you take. There's like 50 of them.
And like one of the buildings, I think, is just the firehouse. And it's that same design of the firehouse.
Well, shit, I'm going to have to go. I never 100% of that. I got like 96% and I stopped.
There's so much cool shit in that game.
Totally. I love just going to Avengers Tower, though, too. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. Hang out, literally.
They released the suits from Far From Home for free.
Like right when that movie came out, it was awesome. I went and checked on them that same night. I was like, holy shit, they're already in the game. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I fire that up because Wyatt likes to run around and like web sling around the living room. And I remember he had like this bag, like a doctor bag or something, and he was like smacking the couch with it. Like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm beating up the bad guys.
Yes.
Oh, man. Did you see the video that I posted the other day?
Mass Effect?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Okay, so I've been playing that on our YouTube channel for Game Addicts, doing an actual Game Addicts playthrough.
I need to go. Play Mass Effect.
I should go.
Or I should
play
go, that's right.
Well, he was running around the living room singing, I got to go play Mass Effect. Okay, so what it was is that the backstory to that is that I usually go back there for a couple of hours, and, well, my gimmick is my hat. I got gamer hats. I got 3 hats now. I'm expanding the collection. I got my Fallout one. That's like the norm. I've got my NES controller one, and now I've got the RPD hat.
Ooh.
But so I usually wear a hat for the podcast. It's my gimmick. It's like a gimmick that I stole from a guy by the name of Gamester81.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was this gaming YouTuber. I swear he's an awesome guy, but if you watch him, you'd probably be bored to death. My wife can't stand him. She said he sounds so not excited. He's really excited, but he just kind of has the same monotone voice, and it's like whatever. But he always used to wear a hat, and I'm like, that's my gimmick now. I'm wearing a hat, and
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, no, I am the captain now because he actually quit wearing hats because he started shaving his head. But so when this weekend or last weekend, I should say, I was done playing, and I walked out of the game room, and I still had my hat on, and I think I was maybe making me some lunch, so I took my hat off and like hung it up, and Wyatt comes running in. He goes, "Daddy, were you playing games?" I said, "Yeah, buddy, I was playing Mass Effect." And he saw the hat. He goes, "You need your hat to play Mass Effect?" Not exactly. Calling me out here. That's what he's doing. And so when he was running around singing, he ran in and got his Spider-Man hat and goes, "I gotta play Mass Effect." Because he was wearing that hat. Like, you little shit. And then he's like running around singing, "I gotta play Mass Effect. I gotta play Mass Effect. I need my guitar." He runs in there and gets his guitar, starts singing louder and more annoying. And then I call him in. I said, Wyatt, say I should go. And he stops, gets plain face and goes, "I should go." Play Mass Effect. Oh, man.
Oh, those moments are amazing.
So I just got my hair cut last week. And the wife helps me out. She does it with the clippers, and then I clean it up afterwards. And it's got to the point where it's like, I don't want to pay someone else to cut my hair for me.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm over that stage in my life. It's like, I'm not going to pay you $20 to make my hair look halfway decent. At this point, I'm just going to Bruce Willis this shit. Be less of a dick, but I'm still just buzz it. And so I got a haircut, and so I went and cleaned up, some of the stragglers, because she does a good job, but every once in a while she'll miss like a piece right over here, and I'll have like
the longest hair.
I have like 2 or 3 of them, like I have to pull them. Yeah. Actually, it doesn't really hurt that bad. Right there. In other spots, they would hurt worse. But so I took a shower, I got out, and of course now I look completely different. But he goes, "Daddy, did Mama cut your hair?" Well, yeah, you just watched her do it. "Was your hair old?"
Yes, kid, my hair was old.
There's just certain things that he asks, and the way that he asks it, it's almost just like, well, kid, you ain't wrong.
I mean, it's just an interesting way to look at things. It's the perspective game, I guess. Yeah. Damn. No, man. Wyatt is just a bundle of entertainment. He showed up on OG's last episode. That was badass.
That was his most clear podcast he's ever done.
It was really good.
Well, a lot of times when he's on, or he just gets so excited that he does start speaking gibberish. He doesn't know what to say. He's gonna say it, but he didn't know what he just.
He's not sure what it is.
Blah! He just kind of says it, and then no, he actually was very coherent. I was very proud.
It was awesome, man. Hell yeah. We didn't talk about Far From Home.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it better than Homecoming.
Same. They did Mysterio so good.
Oh yes, they did.
Oh man,
and I love how tied in he was to the overall background and plot. They basically made Iron Man 4.
Okay, I can see that.
Like, because this was more about Peter growing up, yes, but it was also this was like Peter Parker dealing with Tony Stark problems.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Tony, you left all these guys that you pissed off. Here they come back to fuck me now.
Right.
Because you're dead. Great.
Right. But like the plot is so Tony Stark centric that it really does kind of feel like an Iron Man movie. And it's not exactly, because it's still very much a Spider-Man movie. Don't get me wrong when I say that, but what I mean is that like he's so centric and so like integral to the plot.
The Iron Man epilogue.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I gotta make a meme or find some way. It's like Peter sitting up on top of the building. Everywhere I go, I see his face, and then it's supposed to be Iron Man, but they have to blur it out or they have to take it away.
Censored.
Where it's like everywhere I go, I see his face and look up, and there's like Ultraman from like. Do you remember Ultraman from
yes.
Ultraman?
Hell yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
Or it's Astro Boy.
Astro Boy. Mega Man.
Yeah, Mega Man 2 would be awesome. Oh, no, I really loved Far From Home. All in all, it's a good wrapping point for this era of the MCU. Although I'm really excited for what comes next, I'm also a little bit nervous.
That's, echoing what I said before. I'm completely at a blank slate now. If I never saw another one ever, it's weird to say, but I think I'd be okay. It's almost like having that finality, It's like Breaking Bad. You don't want to taint the waters because it was so fucking Even
good.
though they are making that...
El Camino.
We'll see. Okay, because I think Blaine said something to me the other day. It's cool, and who knows, maybe it could lead to a continuation of the series. I'm like, it's one thing to risk it for this, trying to tell a cool little story after the fact. But it's like, man, you're going to keep it going and keep it going. It's like, you're eventually going to taint it.
I think the movie only is going to serve as a way to, wrap up some of these questions people have, because Jesse Pinkman is a literal question mark in that universe, and it's unfair to that character to be left as a question mark.
Yeah.
And of course, you look at it, and it's Walter White Cranston's story, ultimately, so his story completes, and that's all that should matter. But...
well, it's... hopefully will be a really good addendum and won't take away from what was.
Man, they got me, though. Skinny Pete right out the gate. I was like, fuck yeah.
Well, okay, so then, saying that again with the MCU, it's like looking at something else, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball has an ending, even though Super is doing this thing. But, the original manga run of Dragon Ball started when he was a kid, and it ends with Buu Saga, right?
Yep.
Eventually, he's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not drawing any more Dragon Ball. People are like, you got it. He goes, no, I don't. I got enough money. It's quite literally, I made a big pink blob that couldn't be beaten.
He's right there.
Yeah, and made him turn stuff into candy. I literally can't think of anything else to have
Boo
these guys
hungry.
fight.
Boo like candy.
But I mean, there's a beginning, there's an end. I'm not saying that whatever they do could be awesome and would just, this could, the whole Infinity Saga could just be part one of a much bigger thing. It's but it won't be, because you have so many characters and so many actors who are leaving, and their character arcs are done or dead or whatever. But it's absolutely finale for them, and you going forward, you're going to replace them with other people. That's comics, but.
I mean, that's how they do it in the comics to keep shit going. And, it's what you do, I think, with the evolution of the characters. And Marvel has been so good about planning. They said, way back when we were first starting this podcast, hey, by the way, here's our plan for the next 5 years. No company had ever done that before. I'm going to tell you what we're about to do. And they, for the most part, took us on exactly that ride. I think there was only, the Inhumans movie never gets made. It becomes a TV series, and it's not quite on par at all. Mm-hmm. But everything else that they announced way back then, they said they were going to do, they did. So now when you see what they're doing with D23's announcements, San Diego Comic-Con announcements, the Disney Plus shows are insane.
Okay. So all these things that make up Phase 4 so far. Do you think? Because here's the thing. Following along with all these movies, and it's like now you have, like, are you gonna be required to follow along in a story every single one of these TV shows?
I don't think you'll be required to. I think that the deeper storytelling, the more impactful, meaningful stuff will be in those. I was actually talking about this last week too with Tyler a little bit. It's that, like, I really think that they're going to stick with a 6-episode format. That's it. Each season of every show on Disney Plus for Marvel is only going to be 6 episodes. You only need 6 hours. That's 3 movies worth of time. You can tell really impactful stories. That's very, 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 very dense and has a lot of things going on, while also being self-contained. And like you said, if you never jump back in, like, you might not need to see She-Hulk to get to Shang-Chi.
Well, what I'm worried about is that you're going to overload it and basically make it seem like people have to do it, and then people will watch it and be like, well, this was shit. It's almost like you're up here and now you're just like, then you're pulling the chart down. It's like, here it is. Here's everything. And then people are like, holy shit. It's like, that one. Who's Moon Knight? It's like, it almost seems like it's too over. Like, 6 episodes is like, that's fine. The old argument that I always had, it's like, I'm not watching any of these damn
13, 23 season episodes.
24 episodes shit. Like, no, I don't want to do that. There's way too many episodes that don't matter.
Filler.
Yeah, it's way too many. It's like, it almost got to a point where 16 episodes were like, you're lucky you're taking a break, because I don't know if I can keep up with it.
But I think 6, if they do 6, it allows people to get in it, get out of it. If you're obviously not going to binge it, because the way they're doing it is it's weekly. They're releasing things weekly, so I think it'll just be an event, and people are going to be talking about it. I don't think, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when that drops, everyone's going to be talking about it. It's going to have so many cool things. They're going to tie into so many different things. It'll bleed into Black Widow. It'll make people be like, well, now I have questions that I want answered. Now I got to go see Black Widow.
So is Falcon and Winter Soldier going to be is it going to be post Endgame or prior?
It's post Endgame, and it brings back Zemo. So
right, from Civil War.
So he's going to be having a more impactful role. But Anthony Mackie said that he's not actually going to be Captain America.
Right.
They'll never call him Captain America, because that'd be a slap in the face to Chris Evans and that character. So he'll be the Falcon with Cap's shield and color scheme and leadership role, but he'll still be the Falcon.
Right.
So I kind of really appreciate that they clarified, and like, he is technically the new Captain America, but we're not going to call him Captain America because that's a little egregious.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of the actor. Old actor. But, like, old Cap kind of reminded me of him at the very end of Endgame, and I can't remember who I'm thinking of now.
Damn.
Like the moment I saw him, I didn't realize it was Chris Evans. I thought it was really that old actor. I'm like, wait, okay, he's playing. Wait, that's Chris Evans.
They've done a lot to Chris Evans in these movies. They shrunk him and made him tiny. And they made him super old.
They froze him in a block of ice.
They also froze him in a block. Do you remember when his first emergence in the MCU was through the Hulk movie? Hulk suicide scene? And like, there was a block of ice that you just for a second saw Cap's shield, and it was just like,
that Hulk movie.
There are people that actually claim it's their favorite. I don't understand those kind of people.
I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't think I want to know those people.
I don't either. It's depressing as shit, man.
It's like, dude, like, as I said, like, it's all subjective. It's all opinion. That can be their movie for all I care. But they're wrong.
They wrong, though.
They wrong. Here I am. I'm over here defending, like, things like Venom and Aquaman and stuff, and I'm like, that fucking Hulk movie, though.
It is a misstep. It is one of the few Marvel missteps.
Yeah. No. Well, who made that movie?
Universal.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
I will also say that they should have just went with their guts and hired Ruffalo from the jump, Because he was their number 2 choice, and they went with Norton because he was more of a star power name.
Well, I'm okay. So in defense of them though, like what were they were trying to kickstart this thing and get it going.
True.
They got Robert Downey. He was a name, but he was risky. And now, okay, it was a big hit. All right, then get
Norton is a successful name at that point too. So
absolutely,
I understand. What is that? Hitching your sales to that one.
I get why they did it, but no, I agree with you. I mean, Ruffalo kills it.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we jump out of here? I feel like we have a whole other podcast to do, by the way, folks. Mm-hmm. You're going to catch the second half of this conversation this Friday on the OG's episode.
Yeah, we're in capping this week.
Yeah, the start and the end. I like that. That's some sort of weird...
You don't have to listen to this podcast to enjoy the next podcast, but if you do, you'll appreciate the small nuances.
Yes, you are. We don't even know what they're going to be yet, but I'm sure they'll be there. All right, man. Well, folks, as always, you can check out the Journey into Comics podcast on the Journey into Comics Network at journeyintocomics.com. Get us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, Spotify, CastBox, TuneIn, and many others. Just search Journey into Comics Network. Go to patreon.com/Journey into Comics. Give us a buck. We don't give a fuck. That's our new slogan, I guess. It's really funny. It makes me laugh, so I'm going to keep saying it. I think that's going to do it for this week's episode. Brando, thanks so much for joining me, dude.
Absolutely.
It was an absolute blast.
Yeah, dude. Like anytime.
We totally ripped. Next time you come on, I want to talk only about The Walking Dead, which is going to force you to catch up.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't going to make you do that this week, though.
Hold on. Are you going to make me watch
the show? Not the show.
Okay.
The show is a no.
Okay.
I'm talking comics only.
Okay. Because it's coming on Netflix, and I might actually watch it out of sheer curiosity because it won't cost me anything.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Because there's some stuff that I've seen. Like it's like wrestling. It's like I read, oh, okay. Oh, what? Oh, okay. And then I might see clips. Oh, that was cool. But,
yeah.
Oh, that's how they did that. Okay. But other than that, it's like, yeah, I have no desire to go out of my way to get cable to watch this.
I think I'm 2 seasons behind now. I don't think I've seen 8 or 9. What's the last season with Carl? Was that 8?
That was 8. That was
8.
Yeah. Well, because that was the end of All Out War.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did 9 all the way through, and then Andy Lincoln was in like 6 episodes. Not even. I can't remember how many he did.
Damn, I'm going to have to watch that at some point.
I mean, some of the stuff they did was really cool. But then it's like, why are you doing this?
What? How can you... I mean, this is for a whole other podcast because we're going to tangent into this and I want to do this, but like, listen to me. How can you tell that story on film in any form and not even entertain the Negan-Carl storyline? It would have been television gold.
Here's the thing. When it comes to the story that they told for season 8, Carl's death with Rick and Negan, it works. I don't necessarily like it, but it works.
It does create a tension.
It creates a tension, and it creates something that binds those characters, because then that could carry forward. But then Andy leaves. And they're like, well, we're not going to kill him. So that pretty much negates that going forward. The only thing it doesn't do is take away from Negan's connection to Judith. Now, there's something I did see from a trailer coming up on the next season. Negan has earned trust, and he's no longer locked up, right? And they are getting ready to go to war and fight, right?
Whisperers.
So you have Father Gabriel he's arguing with Aaron. Aaron doesn't want to take Negan. Right. Well, I mean, and Negan doesn't want to go. He's like, if it's all the same to you, I'd rather just stay here and pick strawberries. He goes, and Father Gabriel's like, no, you can fight. You need fighters. Peanut butter, meat jelly. You know. And then you see Negan because Aaron lost his arm, right?
Okay.
Kind of like Rick did.
Okay.
I guess that happened in that season. But
sure.
He's got like a ball. He's got like a mace with he goes. Pretty badass what you did your hand there.
Jesus.
But it's just like, okay, there's some things in there that I want to see, but then there's like, I don't want to go through the motions.
Yeah.
It just, that 8th season was like, this is mixed. I'm loving it, and then I'm not. And when we got to the end, I'm like, all right, it ended. This is sort of the way it should have. I'm happy with it.
Totally.
And then going forward, it's like, hey guys, guess what? Spoiler alert: Andy's leaking. Andy Lincoln is leaving. Andy is Lincoln.
Andy's Lincoln.
And it's like, oh, like you're not even gonna like kill him off? No, he's just gonna leave.
He's bored with it.
Like, oh,
He signed a 9-picture deal.
okay, but we're gonna make some movies. Okay, so what's gonna happen? Okay, so he leaves, and what happens to the show? We're gonna flash forward 6 years. What?
This is confusing.
Yeah, Michonne now has a baby named Rick Jr. Well, okay, he's actually 6, but it's like,
What?
Yeah.
No.
yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, and Maggie? Well, she signed off to do another show, so she's gonna move on to some other place with little Herschel, and we're never gonna see her. Oh, and then guess who's gonna be the leader of the Hilltop? Jesus. Hell yeah. Guess who dies in the mid-season finale? Jesus.
Hell no.
What the fuck? Like, and it's like, all right. Well, guess what happens on the second to last episode of the series or of the season? Heads on pikes. Cool.
Oh shit.
Guess who they kill? The next leader of the fucking Hilltop. Like, who's gonna lead these people? Don't go to Hilltop, and whatever you do, don't
become the leader.
Don't become the leader. You have a very short lifespan. Oh my god!
My name's Gregory. Let me sign off.
Nope.
Gregory gets hung.
Nope.
Just so you can remember. Maggie, I'm gonna go off.
Maggie,
Jesus,
whatever's good. Like, stay away.
They didn't even like do like a beta story with Jesus.
No.
That's a bummer.
No, Beta's been doing stuff with Daryl.
Dumb. I'm so fucking over Daryl Dixon also.
Well, guess who's leaving next season?
Thank the fucking Lord.
No, not him.
Oh, Jesus.
No, not him either. He left last year.
You got me there.
Michonne.
I knew that. Denai Guerrera. Yeah,
this is her last season.
Well, she getting that Marvel money now.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Come on, Okoye. This is no place to die. No, but it is for you, motherfucker.
So the first Walking Dead movie with Rick is going to theaters. I don't think it's going to do well at all. And that's before I've seen anything. I don't think it's going to do well because the series isn't like at its apex. Like,
they did the series so wrong, dude. They did it so dirty.
Okay, they're really trying. They're really trying to do something with what they've got and do something original while keeping it so much here, so much there. Sure. And it's like, I think Angela Kang. It's like, hey, you guys are trying to do some cool stuff. Awesome. I don't know if I'm on board. Not because I don't appreciate it, but because I'm just like, I just don't know if I care anymore.
And I think that loyal comic fans, it's hard to be loyal to this story when one of the only reasons they haven't told the comic story is to throw off us fans. You know, because it's like some artistic decision. Sure, I'm pretty sure that in the TV show, Rick never lost his hand.
No.
Right? And that was because what? Green screen costs more money. They didn't want to do all that.
But then they did it with Aaron, and then Aaron grew his hair out and then a beard, and he looked exactly like Rick Grimes from the comic book. It was really eerie when I saw a picture of him. I'm
weird.
Like that's kind of cool. It's like a direct like wink, you know.
Yeah, but at the same time, not a direct wink.
Like what what was really cool is that I want to say it was for Rick's last episode. He was hallucinating because he was near death. He's like bleeding out because they stole the fucking Last of Us scene.
Oh no!
I'm calling them out on this.
Oh damn!
I like how we ended this show like 20 minutes ago, but we're still going.
Fucking A. Typical JIC fashion.
Last thing we're gonna talk about. Okay.
Sure.
Last thing.
Sure.
You never played the Last of Us? You never played it?
I don't know if I got to where you're talking about because I played The Last of Us, but I never beat it.
Okay, so like you're in the college, and at the University of Eastern Colorado, there's supposed to be this science facility where they are researching a cure because Ellie's immune.
Mm-hmm.
You get there and everybody's gone.
Ooh.
Okay.
Brutal.
Then you find out that they went back to their base of operations at a something hospital in Salt Lake City. As you're leaving, looters show up and they open fire on you. So then you're fighting them and whatnot, fighting your way out. As you get ready to go through a door, some guy comes in, grabs you, and attacks you, and you're pressing your button. No, you son of a bitch! But then, like, the railing you're on breaks, and you both fall, and Joel falls right into rebar.
Ugh.
Goes right through his gut.
Shit.
Boom! And then she's freaking out. Oh my god! And then he's stuck, dude. So then, what you have, like, some guy's running after her, and you have to aim while the screen's like going in and out of blackness, like shooting.
Because you're losing consciousness.
Then she pulls you up, and then you have to slowly make your way out, almost losing consciousness. Same shit, where you have to like aim and protect her. And it's like when Rick, he was on a horse. The horse gets spooked. He ends up falling on rebar.
Same kind of thing plays out.
Well, he hallucinates. Joel doesn't hallucinate. They never show this. But with Rick, they brought back Shane and Herschel. You know, it's really cool because that was one of the last.
Interesting.
That was one of the last things that he did before he died.
Scott Wilson.
Scott Wilson, yes. And it was, I want to say they were on the farm, and Herschel was telling him how proud he was of him or whatever.
Damn.
And it's like it's like a really like I as I said, I didn't watch this season. I didn't watch any of these episodes, but I saw clips and stuff. I'm like, that's cool. What are you doing? But
they stole from Last of Us. I can't even believe it.
The moment I saw it, I went,
"Come on, man."
Okay. Like rebar. Now, granted, it could happen.
Yeah,
but it happened in Last of Us first.
Totally did. Man. All right, Brando. We're ready to take this one home?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
For realsies.
Okay. Well, for Journey into Comics 259, he didn't even get small in this one. I've been Nate.
I've been Brando.
And we will see you folks later. As always, pop your caps back, fill your brains with shit. Later, guys.